Hi, welcome back to Salty at 60. We may not be students anymore, but I think it might be time for a fashion and style report card. So let's get into it. All right, ladies, so I've been thinking about fall coming up and getting excited for the new season. I usually get this way every August. I just get a little restless with summer. I'm ready for it to be over with, the extreme heat, and I love fall and winter dressing. So it's a good time. To me, this is sort of our end of the school year, because I get excited in the fall and the winter, and then we go into spring and summer, which is very exciting. So to me, the end of the fashion year is August. So it's a great time for us to take a look at our wardrobe, see what worked, see what didn't, what are we missing, and let's talk about also whether or not your wardrobe was working for you. All right, so August is definitely the end of the fashion and style year for me. And I know that one of the biggest issues that come out was always Vogue in September. So it makes sense to me because you get very excited. A lot of people do like fall and winter dressing because we get to dress in layers, and we get all the beautiful coats and the boots and all the things that we all love about winter dressing. Whether you actually like the weather or not, the dressing can also be a lot more elevated and fun than it is in the summertime, where we just basically don't even want to wear any clothes. So I wanted to share with you what I started to do last year and how it helped me evaluate my wardrobe. And I would like for you to walk through this with me, because I think it will help you in staying on track, keeping a budget, and honoring your style and not bringing in pieces to your wardrobe that do not match. There's sort of a one-off type piece that you bring it home and then you can't figure out how to style it. So one of the first methods that I'm going to share with you is a color palette. So last fall and winter, I set a color palette for me. I also did that for summer and spring. And here in this video, we're going to kind of break down everything by, I say winter and I say summer, but my thought is it's fall and winter together and then spring and summer together. So it's really just broken into two parts. And that is because I try not to buy very many pieces for fall or spring that can't go throughout the whole winter or summer season, because it's such a short time for most of us. And, you really want to be able to use your clothes. So you want to purchase something that's maybe a little more versatile, that you can wear it in the fall and then bring it into the winter with other pieces and layering. And I think that helps. So that one of the first things I did is I created a color palette for my wardrobe. And again, I split that into two parts, winter, because I do wear similar colors throughout the year, but it can be a little bit different from season to season. And here is the value in having a color palette. It will really help you mix and match your wardrobe, much like a capsule wardrobe, although it's not limited by the number of pieces. Because if you pick colors that are cohesive and mix and match together and it's one palette, you should have enough clothes in your wardrobe to have a different outfit almost every day of the season. So that's where I started, and I am going to throw up here a palette of my colors that I wear in the summertime. As you can see, they're mostly sort of coastal colors, and then I am going to show you some photographs that I've taken throughout this past spring and summer season, maybe even a few from the following season, just to kind of show you what I've been wearing. And that was where I started evaluating my current wardrobe, our summer wardrobe. What was my color palette, and how well did I do with sticking in that color palette? All right, the next tool in my toolbox, and it is not original to me. I picked this up after watching many style videos over the last 3 or 4 years, and that is make a wish list. A wish list will keep you from making, impulse buys. It will help you with that. It will also help you with sticking to a budget. It will also keep you from following a trend. Sometimes we just see something and we absolutely love it. We want to put it in our cart right away and hit that purchase button. However, if you leave it, I have found this to be true. I heard that if you keep things in your wish list and you go back every once in a while and take a look at them, half the time you don't want those anymore or you don't need them anymore. And that was a tool that really, really did help me. And so if you've not been doing that and we're coming into this new season, I really encourage you to do that because it really helped me. Because here's my journey. I started this channel several years ago when I was trying to find my own style. I was never a person who was very into style. And I found it a little bit, overwhelming. And then I would get excited about things as well. And I would just purchase stuff willy-nilly that I liked or that it was on trend because I wanted to feel like I looked modern and current. And I ended up with such a disheveled wardrobe. It was not cohesive at all. And so I've been doing it a couple years now. And so this is really my first year of taking a look back and to see what I did right, what I did wrong. And I can tell you that this is a fantastic tool and it has kept me on track. Not for everything, I'm still learning and I'm still growing. But quite frankly, one thing that I have learned over this at least the last 2 years specifically, is that I do dress a lot in the coastal grandmother style, and it's because I really like that style. It fits my uber casual lifestyle. I work from home. It's very comfortable, and I love the colors that are in coastal grandmother wardrobes. So even though I follow that pretty regularly, there are times when I have ventured off and, tried to bring in a little boho or tried to bring in something maybe a little more elevated. How can I forget that word? We hear it 100 million times. But it's really not something that works in my wardrobe on a day-to-day basis. So I always find myself that I end up back here. So yeah, I got a little weary of constantly buying and purging. And I am ready to land that plane. I have decided that for the most part, that's going to be the lane that I stick with. So now my goal, and it should have been my goal from the very beginning, but I really just didn't know my style. I was floundering. And I'm not saying I'm 100% there yet, but I have a better idea than I did several years ago. So what I want to do at this point is to, instead of, floundering, buying trends, that sort of things, I want to build my wardrobe. In other words, I want to pick pieces that fit my style, fit the colors I have in my wardrobe, and build it so that every season I am not having to replace a lot of clothing. I can finally say I did reach a place where I'm not really interested in trends anymore. And I think that is such a freeing thing once you know your own style. And that's not to say that I don't keep up with the trends, because I just love doing that and I think it's a lot of fun. And I think that we can add certain pieces to remain current. We don't want to be stale in our wardrobe. However, I did find that I'm ready to do that. And so I was thinking about what I wanted to do next for a video, because I thought, well, maybe it's a little bit too early to do, what's coming for the fall season, which I am going to probably do that in the next week or two, because I enjoy putting those together as well and taking a look myself. But I thought, no, this is what I do in my personal life at this time of year, is take a look at what I've been doing, what I've bought, what didn't work out. And I can tell you that as I'm stacking up things that I bought that either just were ill-fitting on me, that style did not work for me, it's a little crushing to spend money on things that you're not going to keep, that you only kept them for a short season. And that's what I want to move out of. So that's why I encourage you to do this little exercise and give yourself, your own report card on how well you've done, or at least get a roadmap of where you can be in the future. Another really great benefit to this exercise is you will discover the gaps in your wardrobe by keeping a wish list. And if that item remains on your wish list because you're waiting to purchase the right piece that you want, or you come back to that wish list and you see, I don't even know why I have this on the wish list. I have this other piece and this other piece that could take the place of that. However, I found that I had a lot of gaps. And I said, a couple of videos ago, or maybe at the beginning of the season, that I wanted to really up my accessories game. I mean, not only do I want to build my wardrobe, but, I'll just share this little quick story with you. As a single mom raising two kids, I did everything on a practical level. I wasn't into fashion. In other words, I would carry one handbag for the spring and summer, one handbag all winter long. And sometimes I would wear those same handbags the next year. So I really was lacking in the handbag game. And now I've always liked jewelry, and I like big jewelry. I mean, even when costume jewelry isn't in, I still enjoy a piece or two at least, because that's just, what I enjoy. That's sort of my dramatic flair that I like to add to my wardrobe. But yeah, I wanted to build that accessory game, and I am still missing pieces. So what I wanted to do is show you one of the pieces that I found. Well, let me back up for a minute. Let's take a look at what I did for my wish list. Okay, as you can see, here are some items that made it onto my wish list. And a lot of this was put on the wish list when maybe right before Memorial Day, when I was really into the navy blue and white. And that navy blue has always been a big part of my wardrobe. So I suddenly said, I don't have anything in red. I had pinks, I had beiges, I had all sorts of other colors in my palette, but I was lacking in getting red. So I added this red shirt to my list. And this red shirt, I'm going to show you here in a little bit, that I styled 5 different ways. And I'm so happy I got that. So that helped me. This wish list helped me make good decisions. All right, so I am going to show you how I styled this one red shirt 5 different ways before we get into what's left on that wish list and what I feel like I still need to buy. All right, first up, I am wearing these light wash jeans with red slingblacks, and depending on your body shape, you could tuck the shirt or leave it open with the tank underneath. The second outfit up is this leopard ankle length jeans, black Coach sandals, and I like the interest of the black and the brown mixed. So I did add a brown bag with the sandals, and this would be so cute tucked in or left open with a black or brown tee beneath it. And if you've watched me for a while, you know I don't often tuck because I try not to draw attention to my lower belly. Okay, and here in this look, I paired these beige drawstring linen pants with a little front tuck and some gold sandals. And again, if you are not as body conscious as I am in the belly area, obviously you could leave this one open as well and wear, something like a little tank or cami or something underneath of it. And then this next outfit is basically your classic red, white, and blue. I have on navy blue pleated trousers, and I tucked them over sort of a bralette that I'm wearing. It would have looked much nicer if I'd had a white one. And the reason why I did this is because the pants that I'm wearing go all the way to the floor. The shoes are heavy because they are a pair of sneakers, and I'm not showing a lot of skin, so I wanted to open up that chest area. But my white little cami tank was in the laundry, so this is what I wore for this outfit. And then for this last outfit, I paired the shirt with a white eyelet midi skirt and white sneakers, and just added this really soft brown leather bag, and I wore it crossbody, and I just love these little looks. Okay, I got my glasses back on because we're going to go to the next phase of this little exercise of grading ourselves. However, I did want to say the other thing that I liked about that red shirt was it is long sleeve, so it's going to take me into early fall. And I think that is the extra bonus. And the fact that I could style that with 5 other different pieces and probably a few more, it did show me that so far I'm doing pretty good. I'm sticking to that color palette where I can mix and match just anything I want to. So I thought that was really interesting. So now we're going to take a look at what I still have on my wish list. And first up is this really pretty white bag. This white bag has been in my cart. This is with the Kate Spade outlet, and I love the quilting on this bag. I really, really love this bag. The reason why I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet is because I feel like it might be a little bit too structured. In other words, Maybe I need to go something with that's a little bit more slouchy, simply because my wardrobe is so casual. And I would love to hear your thoughts on that as well, because if especially if you're one of my girls that have been watching me for a while, you kind of know how I dress. And so, and the other thing that I thought about is it's a pretty bright white, and I'm wondering if I should take it down a notch or two so that I could maybe wear this as well in the winter. So I would really appreciate your feedback on that one. Okay, and this next bag, I have been looking for a red bag all summer long, and I can't find one that I like. There's lots of burgundy bags out there right now, but the red bags that I have been seeing are extremely small. And I just, I need a little bit more room. However, I don't need a large tote or that sort of thing, because again, I'm not leaving my house going to work and taking all my, my lunch and my snacks and my computer and all that sort of thing to a day job all day. So I don't need anything that big. So that I found this Patricia Nash bag at Macy's, and I really, really like it. But again, it's not quite what I want, and I feel like I should get exactly what I want. So again, it's still sitting there. I've left that one in my cart as well. Okay, next up, this is a blue cashmere silk and silk scarf that is with Nordstrom. It's not a bad price. It's $100. I just love this color. And I feel like because it's got the cashmere and the silk, this is something I can also wear in my fall winter wardrobe, which we will talk about next, and that color palette, and I think that it would go there as well. Okay, the other thing I had on my wish list as far as clothes is a chambray shirt. I have been looking for the proper chambray shirt all spring and summer and cannot find what I want. And let me tell you why. I had the most awesome chambray shirt from LL Bean. It was very thick, very well made, very structured, and that's why I didn't like it. It was too heavy. It felt too constricting, and I just wanted something that was a little bit more flowy and a little bit more lightweight. And every time I would find, and I popped up this picture of this particular chambray shirt because I liked the composition of the material, but I didn't buy it. And I checked on it the other day, and now it is sold out, because I don't know about you, but I'm not really fond of having like the pockets right up here on my breast, because I am big breasted, and I just feel like it just draws even more attention and makes me feel bigger. So if you know of anybody, or if you've seen something, a chambray shirt that you think might fit someone, of my stature and size, drop me a comment and let me know, because I have not been able to find the one that I have been looking for. Okay, and last up is this gorgeous ring. I love big jewelry, as I said. And one of the things I've been slowly doing is trying to buy pieces that I like. And I love this plaza ring. I just think it's beautiful, and it is the perfect size for me. Because I think I've shown you before this ring here that I purchased. It's a tiger ring. It's big, it's bold, it's not for everybody. Some people may think it looks gaudy. This is my Rocky ring. This is what motivates me. I always think of Eye of the Tiger song. So if I'm having a bad day, I can look at this ring and I'm like, you just stick with it, girl. You're going to be all right. So that is all I had for summer. And now we're going to move on to winter. Okay, now we're going to go on to the winter color palette. So this is the fun part, because August isn't just about looking back and seeing how we did, and whether we ended up with a closet that was a mess, or maybe we need to work on those skills, or maybe what we need going forward. It is also a great time to start planning your fall winter wardrobe. So, as I mentioned before, if you are like me and you can't see your entire wardrobe, all in one place, and you have to put things away for the seasons, this is a good time. Get out your pen and paper, your photographs, the things you've taken, and just, if you have your clothes where you can see them, spend some time going through those clothes and seeing, what that color palette might look like for you. Now, as I mentioned before, my color palette for winter is very similar in colors to the summer, except I do like to have a few more berries, and I like the pine green mixed in it. And I have been eyeing up, and I'll show you these inspiration photos here. Been eyeing up, these. I am really loving the dusty blues, and I'm loving it with gray. Love, love, love with gray. I've always liked gray, but this year I'm just really wanting to, and I like all kinds of grays. I like the pale grays. I like the darker grays, like the slate grays. And so this is the color palette that I will be following this year. And so I also wanted to show you some of the outfits. So I'm going to throw some of that up here so you can see what I was wearing last winter. And you can see the colors that I'm gravitating towards. And you do see some of the pine green and pretty much the same other colors. The only red that I have in winter is I have one red sweater that I had purchased to wear around the Christmas holidays, just because it cheers me up and I like that color. I'm a traditional kind of girl. After we looked at those clothes that I wanted to show you, that I would show you again what's on my wish list coming up for this fall and winter. So let's take a look at that. Okay, had to get my notes again because had to get my glasses again because I can't see my notes. First up is this maxi gray coat. This is from Quince. It's a wool coat, and I love this coat. It's been in my inbox since last winter, but it's going to get purchased for the season. And then next up is I wanted a blue knit sweater to go with a lot of my grays and also my whites and my taupes. So I recently just purchased this blue knit sweater. It's from Lands' End. It's 100% cotton. And I sized up on it because I wanted a little bit looser fit. So I'm really excited when that comes in. And then the next up is this plaid pastel scarf. I love this scarf. Now, I don't like it as much as that Acne scarf that I had found. In fact, I looked that up and it was over $200 and something for that scarf. And I said, well, that's just not for me. So I chose this plaid scarf, which has all the colors in it that I like, which are the pinks and blues and tans and grays. And then next up is this silver chain that I wanted to add to my jewelry collection because I'm having a hard time. A lot of my jewelry is really, really fine. And I'm having a hard time seeing them and getting them put on and messing with them. And I also wanted something new that I could get some nice little charms. And, because I like bigger jewelry, that's just what I wanted to work towards this year. Okay. Next up will probably surprise most of you because I have velvet pants on my list. As I said in the beginning of this video, I'm not following trends anymore. I'm going to follow what I like. Now, when that being said, that does not mean that I am not going to do the overall trend. Like, in other words, I used to have some velveteen pants that I was wearing. The fit and the cut on those look very dated now. So I am going to go for something wide leg, elastic waist. And the way I envision me wearing these is with just a nice, chunky, soft sweater and maybe some Uggs or some sneakers, something so comfortable. And so that is on my wish list. And excuse me. Last up was these taupe pants that I purchased. When I was going through my clothes at the end of last season, I had a lot of camel in my closet, and I just don't like camel. I'm not drawn to camel. Now, I love the off-whites, the ivories, and the taupes. I didn't own anything in taupe, so I picked these up this past summer as well. I have not worn those. I'm keeping those actually for my fall and winter wardrobe because, honestly, I'm wearing my mostly linen pants right now, or in the days that I'm not doing that, I'm wearing a dress or a skirt or shorts. So I'm saving these really for the fall when it starts to get a little bit chillier. And anyway, I hope going through this exercise and showing you what I have done and showing you how it's helped me stay on track and build a wardrobe that, will be around for years for me, something that I love. And then, hopefully take me to a place where I can really start purchasing some of the things that I would really like to have. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next week. Thanks.